Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the story about Naruto. What if Naruto has the Sage of Sixth Paths? Part 3. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, please do support for more awesome content and also hit the subscribe button and share this video with your friends. And also support the creator of this fanfic. I have created many playlists, check it out in the channel. So let's start the video. Sing a song, rower. Come on, Tazuna said to a man rowing the boat. Team 7 and their client were well on their way to the land of the waves. It had been about 3 hours since they had been attacked by the demon brothers of the mist, and they were well on their way towards the country. The plan was to first stay at Tazuna's house and then think about where to go from there. For all Kakashi knew, there were more people that Gato had hired to go after Tazuna. Tazuna the rower said, "You are drunk again. I need you to shut up now." Everybody nodded. Tazuna had brought a bottle of sake with him that he had been drinking from after the encounter with the Brothers of the Mist, and it was now getting on everyone's nerves. Naruto had almost punched Tazuna while Sakura and Sasuke hadn't been so physical, but were also fed up with the man's behavior. "I need everyone here to stay as quiet as they can be. For all we know, Gato can have eyes and ears everywhere," that scumbag the rower said. Everyone, even Tazuna, nodded. 5 minutes passed before they hit the shore. "There you go," the rower said to them. Kakashi thanked him. The rower shook it off, telling him that he would be doing the whole nation a favor by getting the dam bridge built. Kakashi nodded. He told the rower that he would work towards getting the bridge built. They were soon on their way towards Tazuna's house. The mist that seemed to be in the air had relatively cleared, leaving a relieved Team 7, as they could see more clearly now. However, Naruto had other ideas. "Wait," he said suddenly. They had been walking on the path for quite a while now, with Tazuna telling them where to go. However, Naruto suddenly asked them to stop. While hurling a kunai in the bushes, a squeak told everyone that someone or something had been hit, and sure enough, it was a rabbit that had just begun darting across them. Obviously, his progress impeded thanks to the kunai in its throat. Naruto, Sakura said in a tone that really suggested admonishment more than anything else. Over the last few days she had warmed up to him. He was also apparently friends with her mother. All this worked in the favor of their friendship, and soon Sakura was also quite close to Naruto. "You killed that cute little bunny," she said, pouting, before twitching at the sight of the dead rabbit. Naruto did not seemingly react to this. He was stone-faced, as he was of late. Team 7 found this new serious Naruto, in contrast with the dead last of the academy, a fresh sort of change. "The rabbit," Naruto said, pointing a finger at it, "white fur coat and all. Why does it have a white coat in this season?" He asked no one in particular. The team just looked at him puzzled. However, Kakashi seemed to catch on. "Right, not in this season at least. That means that this rabbit is domestic." "Unlikely, as there are no houses in the vicinity," Kakashi said, as Tazuna nodded. His house was still quite a ways away. "That means," Naruto said. Everybody down now. Kakashi and Naruto both yelled simultaneously as Team 7 ducked, Sakura pulling a dazed Tazuna with her. Tazuna lost balance, and the result was him being comically sprawled on the ground. Somewhere above them, a kunai had barely missed its mark. "Trouble," again, Naruto whispered as he wordlessly formed a shadow clone. Sasuke and Sakura stared at him in awe. Not many people were actually known to do any jutsu, apart from maybe Kawarimi, wordlessly, and this came as a slight shock to them. This shadow clone, much like Naruto, was also down on the ground, waiting to spring up like a wild cat. At that moment, as much as Sakura hated to admit it, Naruto looked very cool. The mist that they had encountered at the lake earlier returned. This time it was denser than it had ever been. Naruto struck out his hand and realized that he couldn't even see as far as his hand. He knew for sure that this was a jutsu, and no ordinary jutsu at that. In one of his clan books he had read about this form of killing, using the mist to disguise one's movements and sounds. Naruto had found the idea ingenious, and it was something the legendary 7 swordsmen seemed to excel in. It was known as the silent killing technique. Naruto also found out that the air around them was getting heavier. It was like somebody had flared some killing intent in their direction. Naruto saw Sasuke and Sakura stiffen. Tazuna looked like he could have pissed his pants. Naruto was awed by the fact that the so-called master bridge builder, who was also drunk, judging by his antics on the boat, was still wide awake. Naruto realized that despite not being a shinobi himself, Tazuna had probably seen and felt a lot in his time. After all, he had spades of life experience over Naruto and the rest of his team. A team of brats and a famous ninja, the copy and Kakashi of the Sharingan, a voice called out, "Sasuke," and Sakura flinched at it. Naruto couldn't help but noticed the eerie similarities that this voice had to Kurama's or even his own sword. The mist cleared, not by much, but by enough that Naruto could make out a man and the outline of what he could only describe as a cleaver strapped to this man's back. The face seemed bandaged based on the muffled sound that this man had made, and to Naruto's amusement, he did not have any eyebrows. Naruto felt that he had seen this man before, and Kakashi answered his doubts. "Zabuza Momoichi," Kakashi said, "demon of the hidden mist." The air was silent, no one was making a sound, you could probably hear a pin drop. The only sound that was actually decipherable was the sound of Tezuna's wheezy breath that had the stink of alcohol on it. Naruto and the rest of his team, it seemed, had forgotten to take a breath. It was like they were all holding it for something to happen, something big, something, dare he say, exciting. Kakashi Haddock recognized me, and the man named Zabuza said, "I am so pleased right now you wouldn't believe it. I thought that those eyes of yours would have made you arrogant, much like the other Uchihas," he said. "But I guess not? Or am I right?" he asked Kakashi, who shook his head. "Unfortunately, I don't think that I resemble the Uchiha. I am a whole different kind of person, you know. Maybe you shouldn't be underestimating me," he said simply. Even in the mist, everyone could make out that Zabuza was smiling, a sick, twisted, and demented smile worthy of someone who was a demon. 8 points. Zabuza's ominous voice rang from the mist. Larynx, spine, lungs, liver, jugular, subclavian artery, kidneys, heart. He said, Sasuke, and Sakura stiffened even more. "But there is so little time," Zabuza said, almost in a whine. "Kakashi, do not waste what little I actually have. Hand over the bridge builder," Zabuza said, as he formed some hand seals. "Water clone jutsu," he said, as 9 other identical Zabuzas rose from the ground, apart from Naruto, who seemed unfazed. Everybody else was now scared. Kakashi sighed, he would be forced to use it now. He uncovered his mask to reveal a red eye with Tomo, 3 to be precise. Sasuke gasped while Naruto seemed surprised. Sakura did not seem to have a clue as to what was going on. Time seemed to stand still in the mist. Sasuke and Sakura could not move until they heard what was probably the most reassuring thing they had ever heard in their short lives. "Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, do not panic, you are comrades, I will not leave my comrades, I will protect you." It was Kakashi. It was obvious that he would say something like that, even though the genin in his squad did not know it. Kakashi knew the pain of losing his teammates. His own sensei had sacrificed his life, and one of his teammates, an Uchiha of all people, would always live through him. He was in his eyes. His other teammate, the only person Kakashi had ever loved, had been driven insane thanks to the torture of the war. If anyone could say things like this to his teammates and fully understand them, it was Kakashi. Such drivel, Zabuza said, as from nowhere he vanished, before slashing through Kakashi, who dissolved. Zabuza smiled. "Already used the Sharingan to copy my clones, eh?" Zabuza said, the tinge of disdain clearly present in his voice. "God, I hate that don't you realize that nothing ever beats the original?" He asked no one in particular, however, if someone would strain his eyes to look into the mist and its depths, they would see Kakashi behind Zabuza, kunai at his throat, ready to slash it in a moment's notice. "It's over," Kakashi said to Zabuza, who laughed. Even the laugh was slightly maniacal. "No, it isn't what," Zabuza said before dissolving. This had been a clone too. Another Zabuza clone emerged from the ground. Naruto groaned. It looked like he would need the eyes to keep seeing in the mist, and he wanted a fight. "How?" puny Zabuza said, turning his attention to the kids. "Are these the brats you swore you would protect, Kakashi, these one-up ninjas?" he asked him, in a mocking tone. Kakashi glared at him. "What do these kids even know?" Zabuza continued. "The sacrifices you need to make for being what you are, a shinobi, is nothing more than a tool. With one and only goal, to kill whoever the client asks to kill. In my opinion, none of you puny little brats are ninja till you make my bingo book," he said, and then began laughing, which unnerved everyone around him. "Enough of this," Kakashi said before charging and engaging Zabuza in a taijutsu. Naruto had to admit that he had found respect for his teacher after seeing what he had been seeing. Not only did Kakashi manage to fight his way past the impending mist, he did so by using a kunai to go through and try evading Zabuza's massive cleaver-like sword, and Kakashi was surprisingly holding up too. They fought for another minute, Kakashi not making any significant progress thanks to the giant cleaver that the man was carrying, stopping him in his tracks. Kakashi jumped away into the water body nearby, not noticing the wicked grin that had crept up on Zabuza's face. However, Naruto did notice it, but could not make out why he had that grin. Was it because of the chance to use ninjutsu, or what was it? I will end this, Kakashi said. Here, and now. Zabuza laughed. Oh Kakashi, I am way ahead of you, he said, as the Zabuza that was speaking suddenly dissolved and another Zabuza emerged from the water right behind where Kakashi was standing, and before Kakashi could react, a water body had surrounded him. Everybody knew what that was, water prison jutsu. Kakashi had fallen for something really basic, and it was something Zabuza did not flinch once in pointing out. The man of 1,000 jutsu, done in by a technique so simple, he said, laughing. Are all you Konoha jounin like this? He asked the genin, who were now even more petrified. Sasuke and Sakura were. Naruto was still not as scared, even though Kakashi's capture had done the trick. It had unnerved him. That was the grin on his face. It was his plan all along, and Kakashi-sensei could not see it, Naruto thought. This guy is good. Now, your turn, Zabuza said. I won't need much to deal with you losers, a clone will be enough, the real Zabuza said, his one hand holding the water prison. Naruto realized that that was the hand that needed to be targeted. One of Zabuza's water clones stepped forward and stood facing them. Don't you think you shouldn't be underestimating us? Naruto asked Zabuza, who laughed again. The mist made it seem much more demonic than it actually was. Naruto was, however, unfazed by the whole thing. Aren't you afraid? He asked Naruto. I mean, come on, this is probably your first real mission. To die on your first real mission is a bummer. I know many who died on their first mission ever. I killed them myself, Zabuza said. You could tell he was grinning like a madman. Naruto, Kakashi called out, finally gaining some sense. This is madness. Don't stay here, run away with the team. The water clones can't go too far away. Don't worry about me, he said to Naruto, who scoffed. Kakashi was asking his teammates to abandon him. He had seen this all the time in the movies, however Kakashi's story wasn't gonna end in death. Zabuza, Naruto said, I know that you have a comrade here, I just found out, he said. It was true, the clone he had silently created had found a mask-wearing individual who had hit it with a senbon and dispelled it, thus returning its memories to Naruto. Zabuza's eyes widened. It seemed like this was the first time he was surprised today, however knowing Naruto, there would be some more. How could you possibly know, brat? Zabuza asked Naruto, who laughed. Not much like a maniac, but still, good enough. Naruto decided that he was going to mess with Zabuza's head and try angering him, hoping he could make a mistake so that Naruto would be able to free Kakashi without revealing much. He was already thanking his stars that Zabuza did not realize that his eyes were a Dojutsu and were extremely powerful. What are you, the dumb demon of the mist? Naruto asked Zabuza, who looked enraged at that. I just bluffed, you took the bait, Naruto said, lying and watching Zabuza seethe, angry at having been outsmarted by a kid. You are a good kid, it's a shame I will have to kill you, he said. Naruto, however, smiled. Really? Actually, I was looking forward to having to battle that sword of yours with my own, Naruto said, before taking out a sealing scroll and instantly passing some chakra through it, thus bringing out his sword. Zabuza paled. It was evident that he recognized that sword. After all, it was the sword that had blown away so many Kiri shinobi with its sheer power. Zabuza could not believe it. Kakashi and the rest of Team 7 were even more surprised, since when did Naruto have a sword? Sakura was thinking about how cool Naruto had suddenly become, while Sasuke was wondering if having a sword like that could help him beat Itachi, and was thinking about asking his teammate about where he could pick up one of those. The sword of the bloody butterfly, Zabuza said, that was in the possession of Takeshi Uzumaki, brat. There is no way something so majestic could come into your hands, and anyway, what do you know about handling an Adachi? Zabuza asked him, mockingly. Naruto smiled. Naruto-sama, so you finally use me, and it's against the Kubikirabacho. I shall enjoy this fight. Do not forget to channel chakra, and remember that I can also be used long range, the sword said. Naruto nodded, but was amazed at the fact that Zabuza's sword was that famous, but then again, being the demon of the hidden mist came with its perks. Alright, but first let's get all clones out of the way, except one, Naruto said. Shinra Tensei said, as a huge invisible wave seemed to erupt and knock out all the clones, except the one on the front of the water prison, protecting the original Zabuza, who wasn't so sure now about facing the kid. He knocked out all the clones in a single sweep. What the hell is this guy? Sakura and Sasuke had similar thoughts. How strong is this guy? And he was the dead last too. I can't slack off, Sasuke thought. Sakura had almost identical thoughts. And to think that I used to vilify him so much. I used to think he was a nobody, but by the looks of that move, only I am a nobody. Enough talking, let's fight, Naruto said, as he suddenly disappeared from view thanks to high speed and reappeared just before the water clone. The clone barely got its sword up in time to defend itself from the inevitable slash of that sword. The atmosphere resounded with a huge clang indicating the meeting of two swords. To the credit of Zabuza, his superior strength ensured that he stayed steady. What the hell, this guy is a beast, even though he is a swordsman. He still did not move, not even a little, Naruto thought. Zabuza on the other hand was wondering if he had bitten off more than he could chew. What's your name, boy? He asked Naruto as they began a fierce Kenjutsu battle, Naruto not being able to dispel the clone because of its presence over water, which was continuously reinforcing the clone and making sure that nothing happened to it. Zabuza was really good at it, but Naruto was able to fight at Zabuza's level. He was fast gaining some respect. Sakura and Sasuke were too wide-eyed at what Naruto was doing, but somehow they managed to cover their client. I thought I wasn't good enough to be in your bingo book, Naruto said as he slashed again. Zabuza kicked him away, something that required excellent timing. Naruto recovered and decided to show him what the sword of his could do. Alright Zabuza, enough, I grow weary of this, time to end it. Naruto drew back his sword and channeled chakra through it. The sword had a green tinge surrounding it. Butterfly shockwave, he said, letting out a huge slasher-shaped green bolt from the sword that was headed towards Zabuza. However, one Zabuza dodged it, the other was not too lucky. The slasher barely stopped close to the original Zabuza and dispelled. However, the energy that was in the wave knocked over Zabuza, who no longer had his hand in the prison of Kakashi. Kakashi was now thanking his stars as he stepped away, looking a bit frazzled but otherwise unharmed. He was trained to hold his breath for longer periods of time, and this was really nothing to him at all. Thanks Naruto, maybe next time you could listen to what I say and do that instead, Kakashi said to Naruto. Naruto looked at him and smiled. I don't abandon my teammates, Kakashi-sensei, he said simply. At that moment, Kakashi saw his best friend Obito in Naruto and smiled. Okay then, Kakashi said. Zabuza, I slipped up once, I needed that. Now you will see what it's like when I go at a full pace. Naruto, take a step back, he said to Naruto, who groaned. Now, Kakashi said sternly, and Naruto obeyed, shocked by the tone in his voice. Okay then, sensei, I leave you to him, although I would have loved to have fought this guy, Naruto said to Kakashi. His tone displayed his longing, and Kakashi was convinced that Naruto actually really wanted to fight Zabuza. Naruto was sealing his sword away as Kakashi and Zabuza looked at him, almost repulsed at the way he had effectively freed Kakashi from the confines of his prison. That kid made it look like it was way too easy, and on top of that, he also sensed that I am not alone. I wonder what else this kid will show. Naruto played the part of unfazed ninja correctly. He did not seem to give a damn about what was happening. He ignored the shocked looks on Sakura and Sasuke's faces and definitely did not pay attention to Kakashi or Zabuza's stare. It was like he was in the zone and he wanted to hurt someone, that someone being Zabuza of the Mist or formerly of the Mist. Now this is a total drag, Naruto said, doing his best Shikamaru impression. But Zabuza, the right thing to do in this situation would be to walk away. You have no idea what I can do. Yes, there is more, Naruto said upon looking at Zabuza's eyes that were raised at that comment. To run away would be extremely disgraceful for someone like me. Naruto, was it? Tell me, do you belong to any clan? And how the hell do you have that sword in your hands? There is no way you should be able to hold it, at least not unless you are related to Takeshi, and he bequeathed it to you, Zabuza said. Naruto laughed. The deductions were spot on, so Zabuza was also smart along with being psychotic and extremely dangerous. Nice going there, genius, you figured it out, Naruto said, mocking the deduction, even though it was correct. Now I'll tell you my name, only once, and I want you to remember it, because I have a feeling that I am going into your bingo book, Naruto said, smiling. Zabuza was visibly fuming. The kid was too much of a smartass for anyone's good. My name, Naruto said, as he formed two hand seals. The atmosphere suddenly became a lot more stormy than usual. Kakashi's eyes widened at Naruto's use of a jutsu. He recognized it instantly, of course, but to use only two hand seals to do it, that was insane. No one he knew apart from the Rinnegan was known to perform jutsu with such control that it barely required a hand seal. Wind release, tornado of doom. The atmosphere around them with storm clouds suddenly cleared as a tornado of wind came descending down on Zabuza and captured him. It seemed to begin slicing him, but Zabuza was no slouch. He had managed to substitute himself out of harm's way in such a good way that he had everyone convinced that he was done for. However, Naruto noticed Zabuza's escape. He also saw where he went. "Oh, not so fast," he said, but Zabuza had come out, hand seals, and everything. "Water style, water dragon jutsu," Zabuza called out, and Naruto tried dodging. Key word was that he tried. Naruto seemed stuck in position, not being able to do anything. "What the fuck? I can't move," Naruto thought helplessly, as a huge dragon made purely out of water and chakra came towards him. Naruto could no longer hear the screams of Kakashi, who was too far away to try pulling Naruto out of the way, and Sakura and Sasuke, who seemed concerned now, asking him to get the hell out of the way. Zabuza himself was shocked that the brat was not moving, and just then, Naruto, purely on instinct, formed a hand seal. The effect was immediate. It formed a sphere of energy around him that absorbed the water dragon that had just reached him. Just absorbed everything. Naruto could not believe his luck. However, he realized what had happened. His eyes were using another technique, and he realized that they allowed him to absorb ninjutsu. That was really a fearsome technique. "What the hell?" Zabuza cried out, in shock. He could not believe that nothing had happened to the blonde brat. He had made it unscathed. A barrier had absorbed the jutsu. What on earth was happening? "Enough," Kakashi said, seemingly fed up. No one seemed to have noticed that Kakashi was taking the advantage the moment had presented him and had formed a huge water dragon that rivaled Zabuza's and had sent it right back at him. The last thing Zabuza remembered was being knocked unconscious due to hitting a tree. And soon enough, Kakashi had the hand seals done. His hand seemed to crackle with electricity. The target was a floating in and out of consciousness Zabuza. However, before he could do anything, a senbon struck Zabuza, who was dead. A person in a hunter nin mask was standing among the trees and charged towards Zabuza and got there in an instant. Recognition passed Naruto's face as he knew where he had seen the person before. He called out, rushing towards the nib, but the ninja had taken Zabuza's body and disappeared. Naruto turned around to see an angry Kakashi looking at him. "We need to talk. What the hell were you thinking? Not only did you disobey me when I asked you to run, you also jumped into a battle I told you to stay away from. I thought you were smarter than Naruto. What the hell is wrong with you?" Kakashi asked him. They were at Tazuna's house, where they were greeted by Tazuna's attractive to Kakashi daughter and a really moody grandson that no one seemed to know how to behave with. Inari apparently, ever since his father's death, was really fragile. Being around him was akin to walking on eggshells, and no one wanted to deal with that kind of thing. On the other hand, Tsunami, Tazuna's daughter, was an attractive young woman who had already seen enough trouble to last a civilian a lifetime. Naruto's heart sunk when he realized that the father Inari had lost was actually Kaiza. Tazuna then told them about Kaiza's tale and how he was publicly humiliated by Gato and how Inari was never the same. Kakashi had put off all discussions about Naruto's actions on the battlefield for later, and now at night, when Sakura was not present, she was in the other room, and Sasuke was only pretending to be asleep. The two were talking. "Wake up, Sasuke, don't insult me by pretending to be asleep. You need to hear this, because I doubt Sakura would do something like this. You on the other hand I don't trust," Kakashi said. Sasuke gulped, partly out of amazement that his acting had been caught. He needed to work on that a little bit more. Power is supposed to be used responsibly, and what the hell were you thinking not trying to dodge the water dragon? Do you have any idea what could have happened? Do you have a clue? Kakashi asked Naruto. Naruto nodded. "I was stuck, sensei, you know, these eyes, they do that whenever I discover something new happening, and did you really expect us to abandon you?" He asked Kakashi, who softened upon hearing this, though he remained a bit stern, telling Sasuke and Naruto that they needed to be stronger because the next time they would face Zabuza, he would have his accomplice with him. Kakashi had then left, leaving Sasuke and Naruto in the room all alone. Sasuke was staring at Naruto, which was causing Naruto to fidget. "Sasuke," Naruto said, "are you in love with me or something? Quit staring at me like that," he said to Sasuke, who looked pissed off when Naruto raised doubts on his sexuality. "Naruto, I need a sword like yours. Where do you think I can find one?" he asked Naruto. Naruto raised his eyebrow. "I thought you were gonna ask me for mine or demand it," he said to Sasuke. This was exactly what Naruto felt would have happened. Sasuke, however, looked puzzled. "You know, I am proud that I am Uchiha and everything, and I do think that my clan was the best. I really don't think I should be allowed to have whatever I want," Sasuke said. We aren't that influential, no one is, he said. Naruto nodded, smiling. Well, to tell you where to get a sword like that, well this one was my grandfather's, I can't tell you where I got it, since I don't know what Naruto said. But I can tell you that if you deserve a sword, you will get one, Naruto said to him. Sasuke looked puzzled at Naruto. Sasuke, I know you want to kill your brother, Naruto said, but I need you to consider the cycle of revenge. You see, revenge will only beget revenge. You won't be satisfied once you do kill him, which I know you will, Naruto said, causing Sasuke to smile at Naruto's confidence in him. I need you to know that, if we remain a team, we want to be there helping you do it. There is no shame in asking for help, Naruto said. Sasuke looked at Naruto, wondering where this was all coming from. Anyway, sweet dreams, I gotta go hit the hay, Naruto said, as he jumped into his bed. Sasuke continued staring at him. This guy is weird. Today we are going to learn how to climb a tree. Kakashi said to the assembled Team 7 in the forest. They had made it there after eating breakfast and trying to ward off Kakashi from flirting with the tsunami throughout it. Now they were in the forest, and Kakashi had asked them to be more ready to face Zabuza and his accomplice, and decided to do so by teaching them. Tree climbing? Sakura asked Kakashi, but sensei, we already know how to climb trees, Sakura said, scratching her head in puzzlement while Sasuke, who was definitely considering this to be a total waste of his time, nodded. He means without your hands, look, Naruto said, before walking up the tree and walking right back down. Kakashi gasped, but realized that knowing Naruto, he had probably done this a long time ago. Focus chakra on your feet and try climbing the tree, it's really easy, you guys will get the hang of it in no time, Naruto said before giving Sakura and Sasuke a kunai and telling them to mark their progress. Kakashi stared at Naruto. You know, I would appreciate it if you let me teach my students, Kakashi said, glaring at Naruto, who smirked. Oh come on man, I know water walking too, so why don't you sit down and read your orange book? I'll take a walk, he said to Kakashi, who smirked, realizing that this was a rare opportunity to catch up on his reading on the mission. He sighed constantly as he pulled out his book and began reading it, happy that Naruto had given him the chance to do that. Naruto, on the other hand, had taken a walk and came rather far away. He was almost considering going back to his native village and checking it out one more time, but realized that that would take some time. He decided that he would do pretty much nothing and just lounge about and consider this to be his free day. He sat down cross-legged and began wondering about the abilities of his eyes so far. He had control over gravity, he could summon animals, he could bring people back to life and interrogate them, and he could absorb ninjutsu. He wondered what else these eyes could let him do. Naruto found it scary, but realized that he had a lot to live up to and an unknown enemy to face. His father had said that Naruto would find out in due time when his mother would meet him, but when would she meet him? It was all really unclear at this point. Kit, maybe you should consider training in that demonic chakra now. I mean, as far as I know, you can go to about 3 tails before giving in. We need more than that, Kurama said to him. Naruto nodded. You are right, time to get started on that, he said. He got up and was getting ready to train when he saw a beautiful-looking girl walk into the clearing he was in. She looked at him and smiled. Naruto began sweating. Holy shit, she is better than all girls in the academy. It's scary what Ino or Sakura would do to me if they found out that I had seen a woman who I thought was prettier than them, he shuddered. He could hear the fox inside him laughing. Just then recognition struck. The girl in front of him felt familiar, and he knew just who it was. Hello, the girl said to him. Naruto smiled, and hello Ed right back. Are you new here? I haven't seen you in the wave, she said to him. Naruto did not say anything, but looked at her. Oh, but you have, didn't you manage to dispel my shadow clone with an ice senbon? Naruto asked her, and the girl in front of him stiffened. Easy, Naruto said, you won't defeat me so easily, you know, plus I don't want to take you with me. Actually I do, but not in the way you think I do, Naruto said to her. The girl raised her eyebrow. Tell your master that I want to cut a deal, Naruto said to her. The girl looked at him puzzled. Somewhere in a megacur, a man in an orange mask with swirls on him was on one of the tallest buildings in the village, staring impassively at the surroundings. The man was absolutely still, not moving even a little bit, just staring into the sunset. Just then, from the ground beside him rose a creature that was half black and half white, with a Venus flytrap-shaped thing on his head. Toby, the man said to him. The orange-masked person turned and nodded his head. What have you found in Zetsu? Toby asked the flytrap. All of them are alive, one is in Konoha, one is in Suna, one is in Taki, 2 are in Kumo, one of them is Yugura of course, the Mizukage himself, the rest are all exiled, and locations vary, but they are easily traceable, Zetsu said. Toby nodded upon hearing this was good news. What about members? I did my job, I have Nagato and his girlfriend working for me. They were hard to convince, but I did it, he said to Zetsu. I have 2 more potential members, Yugura himself and Itachi Uchiha, who I helped with killing off his entire clan. Yugura would do something like that willingly, and what about Sasuke? I thought the plan was for him to destroy Konoha, Zetsu said to Toby, who nodded. It still is, but when you plan for that long, things go all south sometimes, and we need to take some precautions. Itachi needs to join us, and I know that he is working as a spy, but he will be dead long before he can actually do something to hinder our goals. Why do you think I am moving so late? Toby asked Zetsu, who began laughing. Conniving, Toby, that is just like you, Zetsu said, grinning. Let's hope that our old friend Orochimaru does exactly what we think he is going to do, Toby continued. Zetsu stared at him without saying much until Toby spoke again. I mean, he has to move after Sasuke and bite him. We have to make sure that he does that, and if he doesn't we need to make sure that there is backup, he said to Zetsu, who nodded. I will go and try finding Sasori and Kakuzu. They might be interested in this organization after all, Zetsu said, and dissolved upon seeing the masked man nod. Toby stared at the moon that had just begun its rise. You wanna cut a deal? Haku asked Naruto, incredulous that the blonde ninja would even suggest something like that to her. She and her master's Abusa had no reason whatsoever to accept whatever Naruto had to say to them. Naruto merely nodded, ignoring the disbelief in Haku's voice. It seemed like he was pretty desperate. I know about your defection, I know about your bloodline purges in Kiri, and I know about your clan, the Yuki clan, well known for their ice release techniques, Naruto said. I think we can help each other here, plus I know about people like Gato, and I know that he is just waiting to screw you over when there is nothing you can do about it, so how about it? Will you shake my hand? Naruto said, before extending his right hand towards Haku, who looked at it like it was an animal in the zoo. No, I cannot trust you, she said simply. Naruto smiled, shaking his head. I knew it wouldn't be so easy, but I can be very persuasive, Naruto said smiling, and was puzzled when he saw Haku blushing. What the hell? Why is she blushing? Naruto thought to himself, his puzzlement increasing with every passing second. Haku recovered quickly though. What do you mean by that? Haku asked Naruto, who looked at her like she was not from this planet. Well, maybe I should tell you what I can do, but you already know, the way I trashed your master around like he was a nobody, Naruto said, sounding more smug than he had hoped to come off while saying that. Plus, you know I can kill you right now, and then who will go and wake up Masters Abusa, eh? I am sure Gato will pay no attention before finishing you off and get his job done for free. Do you know how much you guys charge him? Naruto asked her, her eyes widened. Both of them knew that she was in no condition to take him on right now. She did not have her senbon, and she did not want to show off her bloodline, but maybe she would have to bring it out right about now. Now, Konoha is the place both of you want to go to. They respect bloodlines, unlike your Mizukage, and you will be welcomed with open arms. You know, Zabuza can finally have a place to call home, and you can be with him. He said. Can you prove that Gato will kill us? Haku asked Naruto. I mean, you could be lying for all I know, and I don't want to be the one to lead my master to his death thanks to you and your treacherous ways, she said. Upon hearing this, Naruto began laughing loudly, like a crazy person, and Haku began staring at him, almost scared. Fine, Naruto said, pausing, see for yourself, Gato is not too far away, and maybe, just maybe he can be scheming against you guys, you know. I know where he is right now, Naruto said casually. Haku looked at him, curious as to how he found out where the shipping magnate was. Naruto just shrugged when she asked him. Haku decided that following him was worth a shot. Naruto was smirking, he had gotten extremely lucky. Flashback. It was 3 hours before Naruto had met with Haku and Kakashi, and Naruto were having a conversation about her, although they did not know who it was till then. I have my shadow clones, you know, they are combing the whole goddamn place. They will find the accomplice and then tail him, and I will try talking to him because I know that they have good intentions. I know Gato is going to double-cross them. I will prove it to them, and all the fighting will be avoided, Naruto said to Kakashi, who was doubtful whether Zabuza and his apprentice would switch allegiance and come without a fight. Kakashi had asked Naruto if establishing a friendship was what they should do in a situation like this, and Naruto agreed. He said that peace was all that mattered, and Naruto needed friends so that he could hope to someday establish that peace. Kakashi sighed and reluctantly agreed. Meanwhile, some of Naruto's clones had discovered Gato, and one of them had dispelled, thus alerting Naruto to his whereabouts. A local gambling place that Gato and his cronies had established from the money they had taken from the wave. However, they had not found Haku. She was hidden. Naruto had found her by pure luck. End flashback. It was a really murky place, and the whole air smelled of alcohol. Haku frowned as her nose crinkled in disgust. Naruto, on the other hand, found the smell of sake really appealing. Maybe he would try it someday. Of course, there was no time for this. Both of them were disguised as two of the bandits who Naruto had knocked out at the entrance and disposed of. The plan was for Naruto to approach as a ninja who was after Zabuza, and Haku, who would be hidden, would be listening in. However, they found out that Gato had just left. Naruto groaned, pissed off that his plans were going awry. However, he was lucky, as usual, when he found out that they were not that far off. Naruto and Haku both took off, hopping trees until they found Gato and his men in a clearing close by. They had taken a shortcut through the forest, and Naruto looked at what the men were doing, his face pale, as he saw all of them surrounding a woman who was half naked. It was obvious what was happening. Naruto decided that the man who was humiliating her at the moment should not be spared. He decided that it was time to make his entrance. He looked at Haku and instructed her to remain silent. His belief in Haku's goodness was reinforced when he saw that she looked mortified at what was happening. Naruto transformed into a normal-looking person with black hair and had an intimidating air about him. Haku was awed at the fact that Naruto had transformed the aura around him, and she presumed that it was one of his abilities. Naruto looked at Haku and raised his eyebrows. Haku nodded. Assuaged, Naruto decided to begin moving and, using his superior speed, vanished. He reappeared behind the man who was trying to rape the woman and slashed his throat. Before anything could happen, the man was dead, and Naruto had his knife around Gato's throat. The man was really a midget and was already whimpering, thus showing everyone just how powerful the person was. "Who are you?" Gato asked him. He was ready to piss his pants. Naruto smirked, leaking some more killing intent. Gato and his 5 men were all stiffening, unable to move due to the intent in the air. "Does not matter," Naruto said to Gato, almost whispering. He then looked at the woman, who was crying, her tears hitting the ground. He said to her. The woman obeyed and got away. None of the bandits could say anything. Naruto paused and waited for her to be out of their sight. "I hate rapists," he said when he saw Gato looking at the dead body of the henchman. Gato paled. He was worried that it would happen to him as well, and he did not like that at all. "What do you want?" Gato asked him, fear in his voice. Naruto smiled. He hoped that this would work. "I heard that you employed Zabuza Mamachi. Now I do not like Zabuza Mamachi very much, and I do not like the people who hire him too. So tell me, give me a reason as to why I do not kill you and your stupid little cronies where you stand," he said, leaking some more killing intent. Gato was not stammering. It's not like that. Whoever you are, I plan to dispose of him once my job is done. As a matter of fact, if you want, I can tell you where he is. Right now, I hired him, and his lodgings are in my place. I will tell you, kill him. I will give you lots of money as well." "I was going to kill him, honest," he said to Naruto, begging for his life. "Okay," Naruto said. "I believe you. You seem to be telling the truth. Zabuza should be dead in a fortnight, because if he isn't," Naruto said before vanishing and reappearing behind another henchman who hit the floor, dead. "That's going to be you. Now get lost," he said to Gato, who looked happy to be out of there. Naruto waited till the magnate and his 3 henchmen were out of their sights. That's when Haku descended from the tree she was hiding in. "Happy?" he asked Haku, who looked nothing but. She was looking at the dead bodies, obviously not very happy with what was going on. "Did they have to die? Did you have to kill them?" Haku asked Naruto. It was clear that she did not enjoy killing at all. Naruto shrugged his shoulders. "I have killed before, plus are you telling me they did not deserve it?" he asked Haku. "These scumbags will always disrupt peace, plus that woman was precious to someone. I couldn't let her be insulted like that. They deserve to die," he said, before spitting at the body of one of the bandits. "Now listen to me, Haku. I am strong. You can see that. I can kill you effortlessly. However, convince your master. Tell him that he can join us in Konoha, where he will be happy, and you will not be hunted down. Can you do that?" he asked her. Haku nodded. "Good." Naruto said to her. Now you should be on your way. Go heal Zabuza and meet me in the same place tomorrow, alright?" he asked Haku, who nodded. "Why help us?" Haku asked Naruto. Before he could shunshin away, Naruto looked at her and shrugged. "I know you. I could sense the goodness about you. Even Zabuza was not very fond of killing us. You were on a job, and I know the person who hired you was despicable. I knew you would be double-crossed. No wonder I had my clones track you, although they could not locate you. I guess it's a good thing that we ran into each other, eh?" he said to her and watched her eyes widen. "Plus, there are some other selfish reasons," he said, before bringing both his hands together and focusing chakra. Haku's white eyes went wider when she saw what Naruto was actually doing. He had formed a block of ice. Haku stumbled as she took a step back. Was Naruto a relative? "Bye," Naruto said to her before sunshining away. "It worked," Naruto said to Kakashi. It had been 2 days since Naruto had convinced Haku, and she had taken Naruto to their hideout where he had met with Zabuza. His conversation with Zabuza had gone the same way as it had with Haku. Zabuza was angered that Geto would dishonor their pact in such a manner and agreed. They decided to finish Geto for once and for all, and Zabuza decided that at least for a while, he would come to Konoha. Despite what it looked like, Haku was like his daughter and he had wanted her to be safe. And he agreed that Konoha would be the safest of the villages and she would be accepted because she wasn't a missing nin like him. Kakashi smiled. Naruto's charisma had come from his father. Both of them had an air about them that made you think that they knew what they were doing, even though they probably didn't. "To convince Geto we will fight. Zabuza wanted to try defeating me again. It will be a harmless spar. He will take on you first, while Haku wants to see if my ice bloodline is as good as hers, and she wants to see what I can do with it. Keep Sasuke and Sakura in the dark. We might be able to hide our abilities, however Sakura and Sasuke might give it away, and while I hate lying to them, it has to be done to them," he said to Kakashi, who nodded. "Fine, I will train them. You wanna help out?" he asked Naruto, who nodded. "Yeah, Sakura can use some basic genjutsu, I guess. Maybe you should have Kurenai teach her. When we do get back from this mission, you can train Sasuke in some fire jutsu before he unlocks the Sharingan," he said to Kakashi, who nodded. An hour later they found themselves in the clearing. Naruto had been instructing Sakura in doing some basic genjutsu. Today he was teach her flower petal escape technique which could help hide Tazuna and herself if she was threatened, much to Naruto's delight. Sakura's perfect chakra control had caused her to get a hang of that technique relatively easily. Sasuke was being taught the exploding flame shots by Kakashi. Sasuke had an affinity for fire and lightning. Every Uchiha had fire release, while Sasuke also had lightning. However, Kakashi was not teaching Sasuke the Chidori yet. He wanted to wait for a while, so they had to settle for this technique. Naruto smiled. Their training was coming along nicely. They would be able to put up a nice fight and impress Zabuza. He couldn't wait to see the look on Geto's face when he realized that he was playing. Itachi Uchiha sighed as he stared at the plate of dango that he was eating. He did not want to eat much these days. His job as a spy had led him away from the one person that he loved more than anybody else in the world, his own brother. He was in the land of fruits, far, far away from Konoha, and he could not help but think of the orange-masked person who claimed he was Madara Uchiha. Itachi could not believe that the man, who was literally a god among men, was still alive. At least that was what it seemed to be. Madara, or whoever the man was, seemed to suspect that Itachi would work as a spy for the Hokage, and Itachi was worried. He had planned to start a new organization, and Itachi could possibly be recruited. However, he stopped when he began sensing a really sinister chakra nature in the air. He knew who it belonged to. Orochimaru said, and the snake nin came out from the clearing. Itachi rose. "What do you want?" he asked Orochimaru, who laughed. "Your eyes?" Naruto sighed. Today was the day they would battle at the bridge. It was the day of their battle, at least mock battle, against Zabuza and Haku. They were supposed to do it till Geto would show up and try killing them. That's when they would strike, according to Zabuza. Geto had been pushing Zabuza to get rid of the ninja brats. Naruto had to keep up his appearance and had once again threatened Geto in his transformed and intimidating form for the sake of keeping up appearances. They had to make it to the bridge soon, and Naruto was feeling uneasy. He had left 2 clones back home to guard Tsunami and Inari while he had made his way to the bridge. He was worried about the encounter he had had with Inari just the other day. Flashback. Naruto and Sasuke had just returned from training with each other and were absolutely famished, literally gulping down everything that Tsunami had put in front of them for dinner, not caring about getting suffocated or otherwise. Inari watched all this with a look of disdain that went unnoticed by everyone. In short, the mood in the house was upbeat. "Don't worry," Tazuna-san Sakura said to the bridge builder, who was drunk again, "Naruto and Sasuke and I have been training really hard and we will surely defeat Zabuza this time," she said confidently, while Naruto and Sasuke nodded, their mouths still full with the food they had just swallowed in a gulp. Kakashi and Sakura cited the display. Naruto and Sasuke had established a somewhat uncomfortable friendship over the past few days, and both of them were similar to each other in more ways than one. The happiness was shattered when Inari banged his hands on the table and looked at them, puzzling everyone as to why he had done that. Inari just glared at both Naruto and Sasuke. "It's hopeless, you cannot defeat Gato," he said to both of them. "Why even try? He is stronger than all of us, and your enthusiasm is going to be your downfall," he said. Sasuke and Naruto gulped down all the food they had in their mouths. Sasuke looked pissed that an 8-year-old kid was calling him weak while Naruto made his feelings well known. "Wow, you seem really confident, it's too bad that with an attitude like that you will never achieve anything in life," Naruto said to him. Sakura gasped. To her it seemed like Naruto had been too harsh with that statement, while Sasuke merely smirked. He knew what Naruto was talking about. "With hard work, one can achieve anything. Of course I would not expect you to understand that, you only seem to run away. You are always sad, I mean what the hell would you know?" Naruto asked Inari, who began shaking with either tears or anger, but, as it turned out, it was both. "My father was a fool, died trying to play the hero, and you are a fool too. Even you try being a hero, and guess what? There are no heroes, there will never be any heroes or any heroic acts, it's all a shade of grey," Inari screamed. "I have had a tough life," he finished. Naruto was about to open his mouth when he heard Sasuke, of all people in the world, speak up, and he did. "The tough life?" Sasuke screamed at him. "My brother, the person I loved the most, murdered my entire family and made me relive it several times, over and over again, and told me he did it to test his powers. He ruined my life, completely shattered all hopes I had of having a normal life, and Naruto here has been attacked and hated by the village he lives in for reasons that no one knows, yet he smiles and goes on with his life, so don't give me that bullshit about having lead a tough life," Sasuke said to him before resuming his silence. "Disgraceful, you are nothing like your father, Inari. Matter of fact, if I was your dad, I would be ashamed of you right now," he said to Inari, who teared up and left in a hurry. End flashback. Naruto shrugged off the encounter he had had with Inari and concentrated on what was happening in front of him right now. They were at the bridge, and Zabuza and Haku had made their presence known from the mist that was enveloping the whole bridge, completely surrounding the whole area, making it impossible for them to see anything whatsoever. "Stronger than ever, eh?" Naruto asked Zabuza, who snorted. "Haku was looking forward to fighting you, brat. You have no chance, although I would like to know how you came to possess the ice bloodline," he said to Naruto. Surprised, Naruto said to him, which caused Zabuza to snort. "You seem to be a cocky kid, now go and fight her," he said to Naruto, who nodded and vanished. Haku was meanwhile talking to Sasuke. "You might be extremely cute, but that does not mean that I will go easy on you, because I like being on top of everything, and I shall come out on top in our encounter too," she said to Sasuke, who was blushing. Naruto, who had just appeared from nowhere, saw Sasuke looking positively red-faced. He had to focus a lot of chakra into his eyes to see that clearly, and he was now feeling glad that he had taken that pain, because this was extremely rare. Sasuke, the emo king, was blushing. "Who the hell is this girl, and why is she so pretty?" Sasuke thought to himself before stopping, and his face turned pale. "Wait, I am not supposed to feel that way," he said loud enough for Naruto and Haku to hear him. Naruto just looked at Sasuke as though he was from another planet. "What the hell, Sasuke?" he asked Naruto. "Haku is flirting with Sasuke. Actually, I think their pairing will be awesome," he thought to himself. "Enough talk, now we fight," Haku said as she launched a senbon. Naruto moved away, and so did Sasuke, whose eyes were now red-colored with Tutamo in them. "So you activated the Sharingan?" Naruto asked Sasuke. "When?" "Yesterday night, after my outburst," Sasuke said, grinning. "I feel great, let's see how good these eyes are, shall we?" he asked Naruto, who nodded. Haku suddenly appeared behind Sasuke and kicked him, however Sasuke barely got a hand to it in time. His Sharingan saved him from near disaster, while Naruto grinned appreciatively. "You are fast," he said to Haku, who smiled, although Naruto could not see it. She then charged Naruto, who sidestepped her and made it look like he was sleeping, at least it looked that way with the ease that he was moving with. He struck out a palm at Haku, who dodged it effortlessly too. "Not bad," he said to Haku. "Let's see what you do about this," he said, as he stepped back and formed some hand seals before wordlessly sending out balls of ice at Haku, who barely dodged them. "Nice," she said. "You have decent control over the ice, but let's see you dodge this," she said, as she formed some hand seals. "Ice style, ice disc technique," she called out, as there was a wheezing sound in the air. However, Naruto could not see anything, and he activated his eyes, focusing some more chakra towards his eyes, when he saw almost transparent, sharp ice discs coming towards him. Sasuke, whose Sharingan had seen it all, managed to pull Naruto out of the way. "Dope, what the hell are you doing, man? Do I have to pull you out of everything like that?" he asked Naruto, who sighed in relief. He had taken this too lightly. The mist had forced him to activate his Rinnegan. "Listen, Haku, I don't care how beautiful you are, I will get you. Fear my wrath," Sasuke said, as Naruto looked at him, wondering if he was showboating right now. "Fire style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu," he said, shooting out balls of fire towards Haku, who dodged all of them. Haku substituted herself with a block of ice, which made Sasuke groan. Meanwhile, Kakashi and Zabuza were involved in a fierce battle, or spar. Zabuza had to admit that Kakashi was a really talented shinobi who was holding his own against Zabuza. "You are good, maybe your students are as good as you are?" he asked Kakashi. "Don't underestimate them, that might just be the last thing you do," he said to Zabuza, who laughed. "The blondie is fearsome, I will admit, but I don't think he is too experienced. He is a little too naive for my taste," Zabuza said, as his cleaver clashed with Kakashi, who turned out to be a shadow clone. "Are you taking advantage of his naivety?" Kakashi asked Zabuza. He had just materialized behind him and had a kunai to Zabuza's throat. He wasn't slashing, he was not supposed to. "Nah," Zabuza said before dissolving into water. It was a water line, and Kakashi sighed, berating himself for thinking that he had won already. However, he dodged in time, avoiding a giant sword slashing. He began sweating. Zabuza was really good. "So why join us?" Kakashi asked Zabuza, who sort of shrugged. Both of them were standing at a distance. "Look, I love Haku, okay, like a daughter. I took her in and raised her to be a tool, but I realized that she'd won me over. She changed my heart, and I am tired of putting her in danger like this. I know that she will be safe there. I am doing this for her. I want her to have a great life," Zabuza said, as Kakashi looked on, shocked at what Zabuza had just said. "Plus she thinks that the black-haired kid is cute," he said to Kakashi, who sweat dropped. "She should join the club," Kakashi thought. "Enough of this sappy bullshit, let's fight now," Zabuza said, as he charged Kakashi again. Half an hour later. "Alright, Haku, it's time," Naruto said. They were trapped in Haku's demonic ice mirrors, and Naruto was sorely tempted to use the pre-top path and absorb the ice needles, but he didn't want to. Sasuke too was looking a little worse for wear. "Sasuke, Inari seems to have got our message. He is gathering the villagers. Gato is on his way now," he said to Sasuke, who looked puzzled. He suddenly noticed that the mirrors around him had melted away, and Naruto had a hand on Sasuke's shoulder. "Relax, I'll tell you about it. Focus, she's on our side," he said to her. Zabuza and Kakashi had both made their way towards where they all were. "Alright, Zabuza, you lost the spar, so you can act like you are injured," he said to Zabuza, who snorted, obviously not happy with the whole arrangement. "Sasuke, act like you are seriously hurt," Naruto said to Sasuke, who looked at him puzzled. "Why?" he asked Naruto, who shrugged. Sasuke shook his head. "No way, I am not acting injured, you act injured, or tell Haku," he said to Naruto. Meanwhile, Sakura, who was hidden all the time by a Genjutsu along with Tazuna, had just shown up, puzzled beyond belief. "Hey, what's going on here? Why are we all standing?" she asked them. Tazuna looked curious too. "Has the battle stopped, sensei? Why are we with the enemies right now?" she asked him. Kakashi shrugged. "Tell Sakura to act hurt, it's the most believable outcome," Sasuke said to Naruto, who glared at him. But Haku solved the problem by kicking him in the groin. "Really hard." Sasuke cried out in pain as he doubled over, clutching his stomach. "Why?" he wheezed out. "That was for being a jerk," Haku said to Sasuke. Sakura was seething at what Haku had just done. Meanwhile, Zabuza had also lied down on the ground, waiting for Gato to show up, and sure enough, he did. "Demon of the Hidden Miste?" You don't seem too special, Zabuza. I mean, you were defeated by Kid's Gap said. He had shown up with 50 mercenaries. Gato then set his sights on Haku. The hot bitch that you carry with you, eh? You know, I want her, he said, looking at Haku, who was kneeling down on the ground beside Zabuza, acting like she was healing his wounds and looking really injured. You were right, Zabuza said to Naruto, who nodded. Gato, on the other hand, ignored the whole exchange. He went on with his tirade. Maybe she will make a great whore. Oh wait, I will rape her and kill her, and Tazuna, your daughter will be a whore for sure, Gato said before giggling. Naruto began shaking with anticipation. Gato was gonna be screwed. Sasuke, on the other hand, was looking really pissed off right about now. Shut the hell up, you fuzzbag, he shouted, albeit too dramatically. Naruto groaned. Sasuke wouldn't make a great actor. As if a kid could tell me what to do, he said to Sasuke. You like the whore? Well, maybe I'll do it in front of you, he said, laughing, as his mercenaries laughed along with him. I would like to see you try, Zabuza said, as he got up, giving up the act, looking as fresh as ever. Haku got up too, and Naruto formed 50 shadow clones. Gato paled. The look in his eyes was similar to what many people look like when they see their deaths approaching. It was all an act, Zabuza said, as he charged towards Gato, who was paralyzed with fear. 5 bloody minutes later, it was all over. Inari and the villagers had shown up later. Inari had managed to gather the support of all the villagers, and this had gained looks of appreciation from Naruto, and of all people, Sasuke. Naruto also found out that Zabuza had no intention of joining Konoha. Why stay a missing nin? Come on, you said Haku was your daughter, don't you want to be with her? Naruto asked him. Zabuza sighed. I would love Naruto, but I have a job to do. I have to gather support for the rebellion. Please, take Haku with you, and take care of her, he said to Kakashi, who nodded. Zabuza-sama, please, I shall come with you, Haku said to Zabuza, who refused. Haku, I order you to go to Konoha and lead a good life. Just tell the Hokage that I might visit and that I won't kill any Konoha ninja if I find them, he said to her. She nodded. I'll miss you, she said to him, tearing up. Naruto was pretty sure that Zabuza was also about to cry. I don't deserve you, Haku, Zabuza said to her as he smiled. Well, I'll be on my way, take care, and once the rebellion is successful, I will visit you, he said to her. Haku nodded. Zabuza the sunshine away as Haku broke down in tears. The next week was spent completing the bridge. The villagers, bolstered by Inari and Tazuna, had begun working hard at completing the bridge. Haku and Sasuke spent that time together, much to Sakura's chagrin. She couldn't believe that Sasuke liked Haku, while Naruto could not believe that Sasuke liked girls. Can you believe them? Sakura asked Naruto. I worked so hard to impress him, and he started liking Haku of all people, she said to Naruto, who nodded. Yeah, I know, right? I thought he had a thing for Kiba, he said, as Sakura realized what that meant, and she was not happy. Don't insult Sasuke-kun, she said to Naruto as she tried beating him up. Here is in Sarutobi's side. It was another day at the village, another one filled with paperwork, and he hated to say it, but he missed Naruto. The boisterous blonde had made things entertaining, but now there was none of that. However, things were getting more interesting. He sensed someone was in the room, and it was not Anbu. Itachi-kun, Sarutobi said. How nice of you to show up, he said, as Itachi emerged from the shadows. I knocked out Katetsu and Izumo. I hope you don't mind, he said to Sarutobi. Your Anbu are knocked out too, he said, as he took a seat. That scares me, Sarutobi replied. So, I thought you wouldn't show up in the village for a long time. So what happened? Orochimaru is coming after my brother. His sights are on the Sharingan, and he wants to invade Konoha. Itachi said, as Sarutobi paled. This was not good news at all. He came after my eyes, but I managed to escape. Don't ask me how. I am sure he will go after Sasuke next, he said to Sarutobi. This is bad, Tobi Zetsu said to the orange-masked person. Orochimaru moved after Itachi and gave away his plan, and now Itachi could be in Konoha. This is not good, Tobi said to himself. Look for someone else then. Itachi is a lost cause. Zetsu nodded as he dissolved in the ground. The rest of their stay at Wave was relatively tame compared to the first few weeks. Haku had decided to come along with them to Konoha, and Zabuza had left in hopes of leading a successful reunion against the bloodline purges. Sasuke and Haku, much to the chagrin of Sakura, had hit it off, while Naruto, who was loveless, was working on the bridge. His clones had devoted themselves to getting the work done, and he was also working his summon creatures and using them as load bearers and whatnot. Kakashi just relaxed and read his dirty smut and tried flirting with Tsunami while all this was happening. Naruto, Sasuke, and Inari had also become quite close to each other all the while, as they just hung out and trained, at least Naruto and Sasuke did, while Inari just watched them do it. After 2 weeks, the bridge was finally finished, and it was time to name the bridge, and the whole village was gathered to see off the shinobi who had saved their land from tyranny and freed them. This bridge is spectacular, but what will we call it? Tazuna asked the whole village as the shinobi were leaving. Hey, it's all thanks to Konoha that we escaped this predicament we were in. Maybe we should call it the Great Konoha Bridge? Inari asked Tazuna. He was met with the approval of the citizens of the village, and Tazuna smiled. You are right, it is decided then. This is the Great Konoha Bridge, he said, as the denizens cheered, while Team 7 looked on awkwardly. Haku was just smiling. As they were on the way back to the village, Kakashi sighed. They should have called it the Great Kakashi Bridge, or the Great Icha Icha Bridge, he said, sighing again. Everybody shook their heads and stared at Kakashi, while Haku merely smiled. Stop smiling. Are you talking to me? This was probably what Sasuke and Haku said together the whole time on the way back. Haku had a smile on her face, and Sasuke was determined to make her stop smiling, while Haku was unfazed and continued doing so uninhibitedly. Naruto and Kakashi observed this with amused looks on their faces, while Sakura just did not look happy. They were walking ahead of a bickering Sasuke and Haku. What does he see in her? Sakura asked Naruto. There was a look of hurt in her eyes, and Naruto felt bad seeing her. He knew why they attracted each other, or at least why Haku attracted Sasuke, but he did not have the heart to tell her. I don't know if he lied, hopefully she would buy it and be on her way, but she didn't. Don't lie, I'm sure you found out, you are intelligent, plus the last 2 weeks you were exclusively with Sasuke, he could have told you, so tell me why he likes her? She asked him, a look of pleading in her eyes. He likes her because she is strong, Naruto said, as Sakura's eyes widened. But you beat her, how can she be so strong? She asked him. Naruto laughed, enough to not draw attention to the rest of the team behind them. Cute, but I did not defeat her. We were at a stalemate when Geto showed up, anyway I wanted to hold back and see the powers of her ice manipulation, Naruto said, defending himself. Missing the point, Naruto, Sakura said to him, as Naruto shrugged. I know why he doesn't like me, cause I am a weakling, Sakura said bitterly, as Naruto walked on. This caused him to stop and turn back. Don't ever say that to anyone, just train and train till you realize that you are strong, and then after that is done, train again and get stronger, he said to her. Kakashi, who had overheard this conversation, smiled. It reached his eyes. He loved it when his team came together like that, it made him feel like a father. You are right, Sakura said, as Kakashi stopped smiling and listened in on the conversation. It's nothing bad, I will train and become as strong as Sasuke and stronger than Haku, then he will choose me, she said to Naruto, who smiled. Or you could grow a pair of breasts that rivaled Tsunade's and shove them in his face, Naruto thought, smiling and turning a slight red. 2 words, clan effing restoration, Kakashi thought with a giggle. That's the spirit, Naruto said to Sakura, ignoring the fact that the giggling that Kakashi had been mentally doing had become far more vocal, actually everyone could hear it. Sensei, why the hell are you giggling? Naruto asked Kakashi, raising his eyebrows, which silenced him instantly. Never mind, Kakashi said sheepishly, and perhaps far too quickly for anyone's liking. We are close to the village, Sasuke said suspiciously, not knowing that every single item of conversation between the rest of his team was actually revolving around him. Every member of the team shook their heads at Sasuke's obvious and justified cluelessness. They eventually made their way back to the village and were given a day off. However, Kakashi and Naruto had taken Haku along with them to the Hokage's office to see if they could find a place for her in the village as one of the Anbu or something. They found the man in his office, almost sprawled over his desk, reading what was an orange-covered book and having a red tinge on his face, all the while saying something along the lines of "You really are my student," when Naruto and Kakashi walked in. Naruto blanched when he saw the old man indulging in porn. Haku remained expressionless, although if you would ask her, it was incredibly hard to do so. Reading porn, old man? Naruto asked him incredulously, getting angrier when the cage chuckled. Spare me, Naruto, I am a tired old man, I have to have something to relieve the strain that is paperwork, he said defensively. His eyes then fell on the pretty girl who was standing behind Kakashi and Naruto, feeling a bit shy. She could sense the great power that this person held inside him and was in awe of it. "I see you broad A," the cage said, pausing, thinking that perhaps using spoils of war as an adjective would probably not be the right thing to do. Guessed he finished, thinking that it would be appropriate for him to say so. Naruto and Kakashi both nodded as they moved aside and let the old man properly see Haku. "Haku Mamachi," the girl said, despite feeling shy under the presence of a man stronger than her own master. The said old man just raised his eyebrows. "Any relations to a demon of the hidden mist perhaps?" the man asked her, and she nodded. "He's my father figure. I am originally from the Yuki clan which was wiped out, however he adopted me, raised, and trained me," she said. "Perhaps," Kakashi said, "you will understand better if you listen to the mission report of Hokage-sama?" Kakashi asked the man, who nodded before indicating all the three people to take a seat. The next 2 hours were spent making a mission report to the old man. Sasuke was staring at the family photograph. This was obviously the happier times. Even his almost always stoic father was smiling, and a genuine smile. Itachi had his hands on Sasuke's hair in the photo, and he, in the picture, was not impressed. As far as he knew, his brother was his favorite person in the world till he had gone the mass murderer route and killed everyone that mattered and then stuck around to torture him. Why, he mused. Not much of a question. He had been asking himself a lot of this, even more ever, since he had been placed in a team with people like Sakura and Naruto. He had not cared much about them. Sakura was, as far he was concerned, a stupid and incompetent fangirl before she had graduated, but she had begun taking all this seriously and had been accentuating the plus points she had and eliminating the negatives. His other teammate was a total enigma to him. Naruto was kind of what he could call a close friend, and much to his surprise, probably one of his closest. Like it or not, he was the rival, and it was he that Sasuke had to aspire to match up to, not his brother. The more his brother's advice of embracing the hatred in him floated around in his head, the more he considered just not doing that. He had no intention of listening to Itachi anymore. "He killed my whole family, and I still want to do what he wants, and what does Naruto always say about revenge?" he thought, almost furious with himself. The whole idea and the way he had decided to live his life was swiftly crashing around him, and now he wasn't so sure about it. He wasn't sure if he could take the heat, wasn't sure if he would ever hate enough, because the way it was right now, his life was better off with love in it. Sasuke had a soft voice. He recognized it as Sakura's called out to him, and Sasuke smiled. He was almost expecting her to turn up and ask him out on another date. The melancholy of the whole damn situation needed to be broken. "Hey Sakura," Sasuke said before turning around and looking at her. She was pretty, with that pink hair that stood out and that awfully large forehead. Sasuke smiled. Maybe if she hadn't pushed him away by being so useless during the academy, no matter how talented she was now, Sasuke would have been in love with her, but, as things stood, the only girl that held his attention was Haku, and no one else. "Do I have to ask you why you're here, or are you gonna tell me?" Sasuke asked her, trying to sound as polite as that statement could have sounded. Sakura seemed to realize that Sasuke had meant to be polite. She came and sat down next to him. "Your compound is huge," she said simply, causing Sasuke to grin. It was huge, and he lived alone. That was not funny, but the topic being brought up was. "Isn't it?" he asked Sakura. "There were a lot of us," until he said, before showing her the picture of Itachi. Sakura understood as she bowed her head down. "Is revenge that important to you?" Sakura asked him, and he sighed. It was another whole minute before he answered that question. "I'm not so sure anymore," Sasuke said. The vague answer was not going to please her, and he knew it, and he was right. She did not look too satisfied at the answer given to her question. "So, you like Haku?" she asked him, and Sasuke realized what this was. He nodded, and he saw her face fall. At that moment, he felt like a total idiot for saying it. Maybe he should have been more diplomatic. "Sakura, try to understand me. You are very pretty and talented, but it's not me you like," he said to her simply, hoping that it could make things better. "What could you mean by that? How dare you say that?" Sakura asked him, agitation clear in her voice. "I was something you looked up to, talented, good-looking, and having a rich heritage, and you know what, maybe I was Sasuke. But let's say that we get into a relationship and you realize that you were not really in love with me, just the idea of me, how bad would that be?" he asked her. Sakura looked like she did not understand. "Sakura, I like Haku, but you are still the closest female in my life. You are kind of like a sister to me, and I know that it must be weird, he said, as he noticed Sakura blanch, but someday you will realize that you did not love me after all, that I was a crush, and that is all, and trust me, it's better if we stay friends. When that happens, he finished. Sakura thought about it before rising and walking away. Maybe you are right, but you know what? I still will grow stronger than Haku, she said, as she faded away, like some kind of illusion. Sasuke sighed as he resumed pondering over the photograph in his hand. Are the preparations done? The older Sarutobi asked his only student that seemed to remain loyal to the village. The said student was standing, scribbling in his book, as he faced the window and the gorgeous view that it presented. Yes, even the cloud is coming this time, which is unheard of. This time will be tough for everyone, I think, Jiraiya said to Sarutobi, who nodded in agreement. How is Naruto doing? Jiraiya asked, turning his attention to his student, and Sarutobi smiled. Naruto is really talented, he has changed both Sasuke and Sakura, and for the better too, he said, as Jiraiya scoffed. That brat always did have the talent of changing people, he is like his father in that respect, he said to Sarutobi, who nodded. Jiraiya, I am going to retire after these exams, Sarutobi said to him, and Jiraiya almost fell out the window. What? He asked Sarutobi in shock. Sarutobi smiled fondly at the reaction his student displayed. I would pick Kakashi as my successor, but I have a feeling he will refuse, and you will too, or will you take it? He asked Jiraiya, hoping that he would say yes. Jiraiya shook his head in a negative way. Sorry, old man, I am too ill-suited for that job. I hate being confined to the desk. I love my research, you know. Perhaps Asuma? He asked Sarutobi, who shook his head. We all know Asuma is deserving, but he doesn't agree. He refused before I asked him, so he's out, the old man said to his old student. What about Shikaku? He is intelligent enough, Jiraiya said to Hiruzen, who shook his head. Shikaku will find that too troublesome. I was thinking of Tsunade, he said plainly. Jiraiya sighed. Old man, I told you that she will never. Convince her then, Sarutobi said. Jiraiya, do anything. I don't want to do this anymore. I am sick of it, this job, and this pressure. I should have retired ages ago and gone back to my painting. He said to Jiraiya, who scoffed again. You weren't that good anyway. I mean, I did not see the greatness in the paintings, he said in a joking manner. Sarutobi laughed. Do it, after the exams, this will be the final 2 months of my job as a Hokage, he said. Jiraiya nodded. I will take Naruto with me. I hope that is not too problematic, Jiraiya said to the old man, who nodded. Take him along, remember, groom him for the position, whether the civilians like it or not. He is going to be the Rakudame Hokage, he said to Jiraiya. It is his dream after all, he finished. Does Orochimaru have anything to do with this sudden mood swing? Jiraiya asked him, and the old man nodded. More than you think, Jiraiya-kun. Either way, I'm going out, and I'm going out in style. I'll take him down with me if I have to, he said, smiling. You are not doing any such thing, old man. I will see to that, Jiraiya said to Sarutobi, who sighed. Nothing will change my mind, Jiraiya. At the end of these exams, I will finish what I should have finished all those years ago, and I will avenge all the innocents that have lost their lives, he said to Jiraiya, who turned away from the old man and resumed staring into the distance. Old man said, not needing to say much, I can't have you do that. You are one of the closest things to a father I have, you know, Jiraiya said to him affectionately, and Sarutobi smiled. I always underestimated you, Jiraiya, and I can tell you that was a mistake. Just don't do it yourself, he said to Jiraiya, who shunshined away. Troublesome, a voice that sounded as bored as the expression itself. You find every damn thing troublesome, Shikamaru said Ino Yamanaka. The blonde Kunoichi had had it with the laziness of his teammate. She had tried changing his ways, but that was about as easy as getting Chaoji to give up on food, and getting Chaoji to give up on food was as easy as shrinking Sakura's forehead. In other words, she was doomed. Did I have to be on a team with these losers, she thought to herself. I'm too good for them, and even though I am the leader, they never ever listen to me, she sighed. They were on a D-rank mission, but it was only 2 people, as Chaoji was in the hospital, again, thanks to overeating again. They were supposed to catch a cat that kept running away, and somehow their sensei had steered them away from a mission like that, but it was like they could avoid it no longer. Sakura had told her about the damn cat and how it was so tough to actually catch. She wondered if she could break the time limit that Team 7 had set for themselves, but thanks to Chaoji being incapacitated, that was not going to happen. Damn it, I lost to her again, she thought to herself. She turned and looked at her lazy teammate, who wanted to be anywhere but where he was now, in the woods, and had a really bored expression on his face. Shikamaru, "Stop watching the damn clouds and catch the cat already," she shouted at him. This jolted him awake, but before long, he was back to putting on the same bored expression. Ino scowled, but her scowls were ignored. She turned to her own sensei, who had a dreamy look on his face and couldn't care less about where the cat was or what it was doing. 2 hours later. Finally, they had turned in the cat, and Ino found out the reason for the cat's repeated escape. After all, if your owner itself threatened bodily harm on you, then you would probably want to run away too. But what she was not expecting was seeing the grandson of the Hokage, Konohamaru, being held high up in the air by his scarf by a man with what would be called war paint on his face and a mummy on his back. There was also a woman, who Ino had to admit was rather attractive, and like her was blonde. She had a fan on her back. She wondered, looking at the headbands on the foreheads. They were from sand, if every sand genin. She was aware of the Chunin exams coming up, carried something heavy on their back, but before she could react to what was happening, Shikamaru had stepped up. "Put him down now," Shikamaru said to the boy holding Konohamaru by his scarf. "Make me," the boy said simply, which made Shikamaru sigh and let out a small troublesome. "Well, if you don't, I'll make your sister strip," he said simply. "What?" the boy in black asked him, getting angrier by the second. That was when the girl began shaking. "Kansas," Kankuro said hesitantly, as Shikamaru began making a weird mime gesture of removing his clothes, and the girl was doing it. She had taken off her fan. "Make him stop, please," she said. "Hey, you stop that now," the boy named Kankuro shouted at Shikamaru. "Don't do that to Tamari," he said to him. "Who's Tamari?" Shikamaru asked him mockingly, before mimicking the removal of a headband. Ino could have sworn that she had never seen Shikamaru use that tone before. "My sister, you idiot. Look, I put the kid down," he said before doing just that. Konohamaru scampered away along with his two friends that had turned out of nowhere. "Good, now I need assurance that I will not be harmed by the woman, otherwise more than the fan will come off," he said to Kankuro, who looked at Tamari, who nodded. "How did you do it?" she asked Shikamaru, curious enough to not sound mad at all. Shikamaru looked down and saw his shadow that had extended and latched onto Tamari. She used in realization. This was the Nara clan then. They were known for their shadow techniques. Shikamaru sighed as he released the jutsu, and the shadow receded slowly before coming back, and in an instant Tamari was close to him and peering at him. "Who the hell do you think you are?" she shouted at Shikamaru, who sighed but did not look too comfortable with what was happening right now. Ino was just staring with her jaw wide open. She did not want to interrupt this moment. "You are too troublesome. You promised not to hurt me, so you should step away," Shikamaru said, sighing again. However, Tamari did not back down. "You think you are so smug, don't you?" she asked Shikamaru. "What if I told you I found that kinky? What would you say to that?" she asked him, as Shikamaru paled. "What?" Shikamaru, Kankuro, and Ino simultaneously stuttered. "I like that. Now what is your name?" she asked Shikamaru huskily. Ino had to admit that would have gotten her right there. She then chastised herself for even having such thoughts. Naruto Baka had those thoughts, not her. Shikamaru whispered in Tamari's ears. They were really close, and Tamari was blushing. What the hell was going on? The end result was a confused Ino and Kankuro, but before anything else could happen, Tamari killed Shikamaru. Straight at the groin. Shikamaru staggered before falling down, clutching his stomach. "Only I get to be kinky, do you hear?" Tamari asked Shikamaru before walking away and picking up her fan and headband. "Shikamaru, are you alright?" Ino asked him about it, however Tamari just shrugged her off. "He is fine, he's lucky that he is so cute, otherwise I would have gotten him harder," she said. Ino blanched. "Shikamaru? Cute? Wow, that guy is a pathetic excuse of a ninja. To think that Raikage-sama had told us to be careful of the Konoha shinobi, they look useless to me," a new voice said. Everybody turned and looked in that direction. The speaker was a dark-skinned female. She was accompanied by another dark-skinned male and a fair-skinned blonde woman. The male had white hair, the dark-skinned female had red hair. Shikamaru was still clutching his stomach, and Ino just wanted to bury herself 6 feet under the ground to avoid the embarrassing situation. "Karui," the dark-skinned male said to the dark-skinned female, "please, maybe something will happen if we say things like that. Please do not say such stuff. What if Konoha and Kumo go to war because of you?" he asked her. The girl named Karui turned red-faced. "Shut the hell up, Amoy," she shouted at the male, but the blonde woman stepped in. "Amoy, Karui, stop. B-sensei and Darui-sensei will not be happy if they hear how we behaved, she said to Karui. The blonde had long straight hair and wore fingerless gloves, and much to the delight of the two males, excluding Amoy who was used to it, she was easy on the eyes, actually way too easy. Yugito, you are worse than Samui, curse her field promotion, Karui said, as Amoy remained silent. So, even the Kumo shinobi are here, eh? Shikamaru asked, he was still sort of clutching his stomach. Our headbands gave us away dumbuses? Karui asked Shikamaru, who sighed. Why does every kunoichi I meet have to be so damn troublesome? What did I do to deserve this? What a drag, he said, and Ino again began wishing for her burial. Shikamaru, you always find everything way too troublesome. This was a whole new voice, and to Ino's delight, it was also familiar, even though she was not too fond of the person who it was, a known face was welcome right now, but even better when she turned and saw that there were three known faces, her best friend rival, her crush, and Naruto. I wonder what your wife will do to you, Naruto said. I mean, you might find the sex too troublesome as well. No, Naruto asked Shikamaru as Sakura began glaring at him. Sasuke was smirking, Kankuro was trying to hold in his laughter, and Temari was giggling. The Kumonin remained silent, although Yugito began staring at Naruto. Wow, another Konoha shinobi who thinks joking will get him past anything, Karui said, looking at Naruto. This gained his attention. He turned and stared at Karui before directing a burst of killer intent towards her. She froze in place. A second later, Naruto was behind her, and Yugito and Amoy had their kunai and sword respectively out. I can wipe all of you out right now, Naruto whispered in Karui's ears. She had begun shivering in fright. I suggest you move away, Yugito said to Naruto, who looked at her, and their eyes met. Matabi? The fox said. Naruto heard it, and everybody could tell that Naruto and Yugito had identical expressions right now. Stepping away then, Naruto said cheerfully as he moved away and removed the kai. Karui sighed in relief. Who is Matabi? He asked the fox as he was walking back to where his team was, staring at him open-mouthed. Two tails, but that's not all. Now I can feel another one. This is Shukaku, the one-tailed. It's like a Biju convention. Naruto looked towards the trees. That was where the chakra of Shukaku was coming from. This was turning out to be extremely interesting. I was coming back from receiving the Chunin exam form with my team, and I saw Kono. He told me what happened. Naruto and Konohamaru were like brothers. Naruto called him that affectionately. He then turned to the Sand Nin. Next time, before you try to cause an international incident, you better consult your other teammate. In the trees, come out now, Sandman, he called out to the trees. Everybody turned to the trees as a red-haired, short boy came out, a gourd on his back. Gaara of the desert, I shall have your name now, he said to Naruto. Naruto noticed how the other Sand Nin had stiffened, but he was not even a little bit scared. He could tell that Sasuke, Yugito, and Shikamaru were the only people right now who weren't shivering, apart from him, due to the killer intent that was in the air, and Naruto gave Sasuke and Shikamaru great credit for that. Hello there, one. Tell your Petra-kun that I have a 9, Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto said to Gaara, who paled. Everybody else wondered what the hell was being talked about. Temari and Kankuro realized that Naruto had already deciphered the fact that Gaara had a demon inside him. Mother wants your blood, Uzumaki Naruto, he said, sounding every bit as menacing as he intended to. However, to his shock, Naruto did not flinch. I don't care if it's your father who wants blood, mess with me, and the only blood you will get is your own. On the ground, dripping away as you count your remaining seconds, is that understood? Gaara was paler than he had ever been. He began rubbing the spot where there was the kanji for love on his skin. Temari, Kankuro, we have to leave now. Let's go, Gaara said before taking the Sand Nin with him. The exams will be interesting this year, eh, Shika? Naruto asked him. Shikamaru nodded. Ino continued looking wide-eyed at Naruto while Sakura and Sasuke seemed used to it. She was seeing him in a new light. We'll meet at the exams, too, Naruto said. It was meant for Yugito to hear, and she got the message, loud and clear. Sure, 9, she said before walking away with her team. 2. 9? What was that about? And they seemed like they had known each other for a while, Shikamaru thought. As he mumbled a goodbye, he had to think about what had happened. We know Itachi, but are you ready? Sasuke won't take it well, the Hokage asked him. Itachi was staring out the window, pretty much the same way Jiraiya had been a few hours ago. I am Itachi. It's been a long time, brother. I hope I inspired you to be stronger, Itachi thought to himself as he continued staring into the distance. Orochimaru smiled before breaking into fits of laughter. He would finally have his revenge on his sensei for not picking him to be Hokage and on the village he had promised he would burn down. He also would finally get the Sharingan, maybe not from Itachi, who had gone missing, but from his little brother Sasuke. He would have continued laughing, but even he was not prepared for what came next. So, Rice Country is your hidey hole, Orochimaru? Orochimaru turned towards the door as his eyes widened in recognition. You, he said, for the first time feeling scared of the man who was at his door. Thanks for watching my video. Leave a like if you enjoyed my video and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. If you want the next part of this story, let me know in the comment box. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.